Hello and welcome to the Agile Hive Data Center review for the month of June. As you might have noticed when you entered this meeting is being recorded. We are going to place this review afterwards on YouTube, so you can rewatch the video or you can share it with your colleagues. But as it's being recorded and publicly available on YouTube afterwards, please be mindful what you share in case you do share anything during the review with us or other participants. That just being said beforehand. So now let's get on to what the team has been doing in the last, it's 5 weeks since our last review. Short side note, the next review will be on the 7th of July, so 7/7. And you can find the link to the ICS file for this review when you follow this link here. I've also posted a message in the chat where you can find a link to this review document as well. And in case you want to reread what I'm going to tell you now, or again, in case if you want to share it with your colleagues. It's on our extranet space. In case you do not have access to that, please drop a message in the chat and we will grant you access to the space. All right. Today's review is going to be rather short as we only have been working on 3 bug fixes in the last, since the last review. The first was reported to us that an art issue appeared in the wrong PI swim lane on the art Kanban board. And it had the wrong PI lozenge in the planning interval custom field. And this was due to the fact that our planning interval by a planned date calculator, the internal mechanism that checks the roadmap dates, especially planned start and planned end dates, and tries to find out in which PIs this issue is related. And if this issue had its end date exactly on the date when the PI would end, and the next PI would start exactly the day after that, the calculator might use the wrong time zone offset and placed the feature in both PIs. So also in the PI after that, even though it should have ended or was planned to end on the same day the previous PI ended. And that led to to the wrong PI lozenge being displayed on the issue, and also it being displayed in the wrong swim lane of the Kanban board. The second bug fix that we aim to provide with the next version, also the one before that's also going to bound for the next version, is due to something that we introduced with the last release. We were working mainly on improving our cache for our Agile Hive entities, and in this case, mainly the planning interval cache. And we had an issue when refilling this cache, and the user that triggered the refill would have insufficient permissions for the sprints being associated with the planning interval. And when he did not have the permissions to see the sprints, these would be displayed as or loaded into the cache as empty. And now we check if the user does have the permission to see a sprint. And if he does not, we are performing this action with our Agile Hive admin user, the one that's configured in the settings in the background, to always have a user who has all the permissions for the boards so that the entities in the cache will not appear empty. Because referencing that bug, we had another issue reported back to us with empty sprint references in the cache being deleted by a mechanism that we introduced in the past release, which was initially intended to clean up previously orphaned sprint references due to sprint being deleted in the past, for example. And now we also listened when we accessed sprints and sprint references, we also checked again, are these references possibly empty? Has the sprint been deleted and we have not been notified? And then the algorithm would also trigger the removal of this sprint reference because it thought it's being empty and not used anyway. But this led to the recreate missing sprints functionality in some cases create new sprints, and then they were picked up by the cache mechanism, and the cache mechanism was filled by a user that had not sufficient permissions to see all the sprints that have just been recreated. And it would then delete those references again, leading to the health check displaying missing sprints. Yeah. We also remove this, the removal of the missing sprints again here, so that this does not happen again anymore. Yeah, and we're, as the bug before that says, we're also working on the checking it now with another user, so that it's independent from the permissions that the user that's currently viewing a view might has. Yeah. Are there any questions to these bug fixes? All right, I don't see any raised hands or any messages in the chat. And then I am going over to the announcement section. Yeah, previously in the previous review, I announced that with the upcoming minor version 4.11, we were going to drop Jira 9 support for Agile Hive Data Center. But due to several running migrations right now from customers who want to migrate to cloud, it's made clear that they are still using Jira 9. Instead of migrating to Jira 10 or Jira 11, they are migrating to cloud, obviously, and so are still using that version. And in case we want to make any changes to our to the parts in Agile Hive Data Center that addresses the migration, we still have to release new versions for Jira 9 as well. At least until we know that all customers who actually used Jira 9 have been successfully migrated to cloud. So yeah, that's why I stroke through all the, we're going to remove Jira 9 version support here. And yeah, we will still be supporting Jira 9 for the foreseeable future. All right, then another announcement. Starting from August, I intend to start this review at 3:15, so in about 4 minutes time. This is due to the fact that, as you have seen previously here on the list above, there is not much to talk about to fill a whole 30-minute slot right now. And also to minimize the gap between the data center review and the cloud review, which starts at 15:30. Starting August, this review will start at 3:15. In case you have already imported the ICS file for the review into your calendar, you will have to adjust the starting time manually for all the appointments in the future. But again, we will be in the review meeting here at 15 o'clock, but we will just display a message that it will start later. So it's no problem if you join this invitation link at 15 o'clock. Only the actual talking part will start later. Yeah, that concludes the announcements as well. See you in the next one. This will be on the 7th of July. Again, then starting at 15 o'clock again, but on the next one, 15. Thank you for your time. Thank you and goodbye.